Hello and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. In this one, I'm going to be talking to you all about how you can get more views on your LinkedIn content. Now, I'm going to be taking you through a practical demonstration on this and actually taking you through some of the content that I've been creating over the past couple of weeks and actually showing you how we've determined what is working and, more importantly, what isn't. We're also going to be going through the different phases of content so you can understand how each specific content type has a specific objective, which is then going to actually determine the overall result that you're getting. I'm going to be talking to you about the content themes so that actually work. So the different themes that we use and different, areas of content, whether it's documentation, whether it is having a strong opinion, whether it is having something which is quite controversial. We're taking you through all of it and actually which one that you should be focusing on, which are actually going to give you more views on your content. And then thirdly, I'm going to be talking to you about the power of having a really, really strong headline, how we work one out, how we actually structure it to enable you to get the most attention within the first 3 seconds that your content is seen by somebody on their newsfeed, and also then how you trigger conversation. So the secret to viral content is triggering conversation on this platform. And for me, this stuff is relatively simple. It may not work 100% for you when you give it a go for your first time. This has taken lots and lots of training, lots and lots of practice. However, now we're at a point where even with quite a modest following on this platform, I've been able to generate some really, really good conversations, been able to add lots and lots of people into my network. And from here, I've generated consistent opportunity over the last 6, 12, 18 months to really help push my business. Some of you may know this, some of you may not, but my background wasn't on LinkedIn. My background was actually over on Instagram. And over time as a platform, there's been lots of changes on Instagram which have pushed me over to different platforms where the organic reach is a lot stronger. Now, what I mean by organic reach is where my content is reaching new people without having to spend any money on paid advertising. Now, this is really, really strong on social media right now. It's a popular topic, and there are lots of people that I see online talking about spending money to get opportunity. And for me, I don't believe you need to do that. Throughout my whole business journey, I have made sure that I've built a brand for myself. I have applied social selling methodologies to be able to position myself in a market as somebody that people want to do business with. And I believe that anybody can do it. And we've had numerous examples over time of people demonstrating this and getting incredible results without having to spend a penny on any paid advertising. So without further ado, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to share my screen with you. And from there, I'm going to take you through some of the examples and also the 3 key things that I mentioned before. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to share my screen and then we'll go through it. Okay, so the first thing that you need to realize, I'm hoping you can see my screen here. This is really, really highly technical, as you can see. But one of the things I really want you to realize is that with your content, there are different phases. And this is something that I've worked on over about the last 18 months. And it's been the thing that's enabled us to turn our content and actually use it to generate business. Most people, from what I see online, from my own experience, post content and hope. There's no strategy towards it. There's no campaign. There's no thought that goes behind it. And I think this is where we can make the biggest difference. And once you understand the different phases, I'm going to talk you through them briefly in a second. Once you understand them, you'll start to actually identify the certain pieces of content where you want really, really high visibility and high views. And then the next phase, which then draws out and builds relationships. And then the final phase, which then generates your leads and your conversions. It's really vital to understand that not every single content piece is going to go crazy. It's not going to get as many views as you hope, or not as many as you get on potentially another piece of content. The way these algorithms work is very, very unique to the specific post that you put out there. So the first phase, and it's going to be the phase that I'm going to focus on inside of this video, showing you how we actually go out there and do it, is attraction. So when you're looking to build out your LinkedIn account, when you're looking to start to generate leads from this platform, the one thing that you need to do is build your network. This is fundamental. We all know this. We need to bring in here, as you can see, the followers number. Mine isn't massive. There are people out there with much bigger followings than me. Quite frankly, It doesn't matter. I have 8,488 people here that are all targeted and are all interested in what I've got to talk about. That is fundamental. That is key, because actually, even if I was to convert 1% of those people into paying clients, that's the business sorted for the year. That's how simple this is when we really think about it. And that's why building your network is so important. Now, there's loads of different ways that you can build your network on LinkedIn. That's not what I'm going to go through here. What I'm going to go through is how you use content to bring people towards you. And that is the first phase. So attracting people over to your profile so they view it, they then see what it is that you do. And then from there, they can then make the decision whether they want to start a conversation with you. LinkedIn is very much a platform where the more you have conversations, the more opportunity is going to come your way. So attraction type content is what we're going to focus on. To give you a quick insight into what the other two are, the second one is connection. So again, the second type of content you need to be creating to move somebody from someone that doesn't know who you are right now all the way through to somebody who is going to be a paying client. You need to create another type of content which then builds that relationship, and it showcases how good you are at what you do. This is a prime example. This video is a connection type of content. It's more in depth. It showcases our knowledge. It showcases that we practice what we preach. And that will then allow us to then utilize the third content type, which is transactional. And transactional content is very similar to what I've got ongoing on here. You can see low in views from when we posted this 2 hours ago, but this is promoting an event. An event is a transactional piece of content. It is the opportunity for me to give you even more information up front for you to then actually have the opportunity to purchase something from us later on down the line. Now, the likelihood of you going and registering for that event without knowing who I am, without visiting my profile, without seeing some connection type pieces of content is really slim. So I use the other two content types to then drive you to a place where I can deliver you even more value. And from that position, you then may actually be the right client to work with us, and then we do business together. Really simple, really fundamental, but understanding your content strategy is key for that. Now, onto content and attraction type content and how you can maximize views and how you can maximize reach. Now, if you're an avid LinkedIn user, you will know some of this already. My job here is not to teach you anything that's rocket science. Actually, it's to do the opposite. My job is to teach you the simple stuff that's going to give you the best result in the quickest time frame. So posting event type content is not going to drive huge amounts of views to your content or your profile. The algorithm doesn't push them. It very rarely generates conversation. And to break this down straight away for you, what drives viral content is normally one of two things: either engagement via reactions, so people liking, sharing, and actually having interactions via that way, or two, conversations happening inside your comment section. So LinkedIn operates on what we call dwell time. So in fact, the number of comments that you have, the number of reactions that you have are actually quite irrelevant. They don't really mean anything to the platform specifically. That's really key to understand. They are actually ways for us to be able to measure whether people have liked or engaged with our content. They're visual metrics for us to track. However, what the platform looks at is the amount of time somebody spends on your content piece. That's what pushes it further. So if somebody is leaving lengthy comments on your content, what that actually means is that they're spending more time writing their comment, reading other people's, and that then pushes the content further. The reason that we know this, again, comes back to why these social media platforms are here in the first place. They are here to present ads to us. You can already see it's presenting companies to me. It's presenting influencers to me. It's presenting schools. It's presenting groups. Again, on the actual news feed, if you actually have a look, at some point, I'm going to be hit with an ad from BlackRock here. Again, if I scroll down again by another couple, I'm going to be hit by Indeed ads. These LinkedIn users, right, the people that function and use LinkedIn, use it because they make money from advertising. So the more time we spend on this platform, that is where they then see the benefit, because if we're spending more time on it, they have more opportunity to present advertisements to us. fundamentally key. Once you understand that, you can then start to really work out how you can get the most out of it and how you can generate the most reactions possible. Now, when I've looked at all of the different content types out there, there are certain content types that stand out and actively perform better than others. I'm going to show you some prime examples. So an event is something that you can create, and to be able to publish an event these days, you actually have to put a post out there. So this here is not going to generate any conversation. It's not really going to generate any reactions because all I'm doing is promoting something that I'm running. So therefore, it's not that effective as an attraction type content piece. A poll, however, and you'll see the sharp contrast from 58 views to 19,000 views, is an attraction piece of content. So if you're looking at driving more views, then polls are the way to go. First content type to look at. Now, there's ways to be able to do them. I'm going to give you a little bit of education on them inside this video, but if you subscribe and just drop a comment below if it would be useful, I'll do an even more deeper dive into polls and how you can actually get them to go viral 9 times out of 10. I'm going to show a different couple of examples here, but if you want the poll specific training on this channel, then all you need to do is subscribe and just drop a comment below and I'll make sure I record it. But you can see here the key things with polls. This was one that I did yesterday. This is not Facebook, not relevant for this platform, please remove. But the question is really simple to answer. So that's the first thing with polls, is making sure that they're really simple and easy to answer. The moment somebody has to think about the answer is the moment that you lose them. So here, should personal content be allowed on LinkedIn? Yes or no? It's really simple to answer. And actually the question encourages people to leave their opinion. And with polls, the secret is to either get people to agree with you or disagree with you. When people agree or disagree, that's when you get the 88 comments left. And you can see the real power of this is not just the number of comments, but the actual length of the comments. I mean, you can see this amount of time people are going to be spending writing this specific content is what's going to drive it further. And by me responding, which is really key, I then drive even further conversation and more time towards this post. One of the key mistakes that I actually put in a different piece of content, which you'll see here, one of the key mistakes I see people making is not responding to comments and not looking after their audience. It's so vital that you do it, because not only will it add to the amount of comments that are left and also encourage people to leave more in the future, but it drives further conversation. And this is absolutely vital with what we're doing here with polls. And again, make sure that you're reading them carefully, because actually you can find even more content ideas from it. So key things with polls, again, one of the content types that I do really recommend that you use to talk about the subjects that you actually enjoy and that you're passionate about. So if you're a HR person, do polls about HR and then ask a question which encourages people to leave that opinion. Really simple, really straightforward, but the engagement on the poll and then also the engagement in the comment section is what's going to drive your view number forward. Most people think that the LinkedIn algorithm is too heavily focused on polls. That is because they are the easiest to engage with, and therefore there is a slight bias in the algorithm. So don't moan about them, play the content game and use them. Don't create pointless ones, which are like, what's your favorite coffee, unless you're Starbucks or Costa. There's no point doing polls on that. Do it which is specific to what you do. And this is where you'll start to generate really a lot more profile views from it. You'll start to generate a lot more content views as well. You'll see first degree connections commenting. But the amazing thing with polls is, again, if you actually go down far enough on here, you'll start to see second degree connections, second degree connection, second degree connection. So these are people that aren't in my network commenting. This is vital, right? Absolutely vital. Now, the second content type, which is really important to use right now, are document posts. So document posts are PDFs, they're guides, they could be any form of document, and they need to be useful. Right, there are different formats that you can use. This actually isn't that much of a high performing content piece here. However, it is something which is valuable. And again, it's a connection type piece of content as well as an attraction piece. but you can see people still commenting and engaging on it. Third degree connection commenting, second degree connection commenting. This is what we want. And this is still growing now, right? This is still going. And every click drives more views. So again, it's easy to engage with. It's easy to participate with. And this is so, so key when we're looking to create content. And when I speak with people, so just to add a little bit more context to it, when I speak with people around the frustration of the lack of views on their content, it's normally because it's boring and doesn't mean anything. And therefore, what I look to do with my attraction content, the content that positions me and gets loads of views on it. And again, if we scroll down here, we can see numerous examples of high performing content pieces. Again, using subjects which really relate to me. I had a conversation with somebody about this at a networking event. A random number rings you. What do you do? 22,000 views. And again, as we go down, these aren't massive, right? They're not huge, but they are generated. This was a jokey one, actually. It did well, but it had nothing to do with my business, but it was jokey. But again, as we move down here, you can see document posts, 10,000 views. And again, a bit of humor, a bit of power, a bit of relatability, and it's still climbing today. 14, again, this is consistent viewership, and therefore my following over the last month has grown by about 1,500 people. Again, like photos and everything like that, they're useful, but they're not driving the maximum amount of engagement for you. You can see I've been really testing this over time, and it's really driven lots of opinion on this, right? 134 comments talking about LinkedIn and polls, right? This is what's triggered me to do this video. There's loads and loads of different examples of like, are polls a waste of time? You can see here, we were doing our website the other day. This was last month, actually. Have you ever filled out a contact us form on a website? 88,000 views. I click into that. And again, as this populates, I can actually see different companies viewing me, and that can then trigger the conversation. This stuff is really simple when we think about it, but it's understanding how you can get people to communicate, and creating opinion generating polls is fundamental in that. Now, I said I was going to mention some content themes for you. There are ones which I do a lot, which again, trigger on here. Number one is documentation. So if I'm doing like a text only post, I will normally allocate that and put it into a document over different slides, which people can click through to generate more attraction and more views. Or I'll put it in a poll and actually ask a question which drives the content further. I've done that in a number of them, but you can see the difference. I've never posted a poll, waste of time, and yet to see a good one, right? This is the test that we did, posted at the same time. Literally, these are at a minute apart, right? I've never posted a poll, waste of time, 1,761 views. The same one, because it was a poll, it got 4 times the amount of reach, 4,348. Same comments, but more visibility. That is what polls do. Again, we've done this numerous times, right? What post of mine did you see first today, right? So again, like this post, if you saw it before this photo, we're doing a test. Like this post, if you saw it before the poll, we're doing a test. 1,400 views, 3,400. Again, 3 times the amount, same time, same day, different content type, more views, better result. Really, really simple stuff. Documentation, documenting what I'm doing, talking about what I'm passionate about, and then strong opinions. That is what generates you the views that you're looking for. This is how you get more views on your LinkedIn content. It's about understanding what content types and what subjects are going to generate the conversation from your connections. Give it a test, and I dare you to come back and say it didn't work. Do a text only post or do a photo post, and then do the exact same, but in a poll or in a document, and I guarantee it, you'll get more views on the other versus the other, if that makes sense. I've tried to make this really simple. I hope it has been. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. It was meant to be short, but I've ended up going into a bit of a deep dive for you. I hope it has been helpful. If you have any questions at all, drop it in the comments. Go follow me, connect with me on LinkedIn. I connect with absolutely everybody. And if you have any messages or you want to have a conversation on anything that I've spoken about, I'll respond to every single message that comes through. As you saw on my profile, I run a monthly masterclass where I deep dive into this stuff every single month. We've just done December's, we're doing January's. I can't remember the exact date. You'll see it on that LinkedIn event that's on my profile. I run it with my business partner, Sam Raffling, who is the queen of LinkedIn. I'm just here reporting and documenting on all the different stuff that I know and love on this platform, talking about the stuff that I see working day to day. And yeah, that's it. I know I've spoken at 1,000,000 miles an hour, so I hope that's been helpful. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.